You have already decided I can't. You have already decided I can't, but I can. Just wait for me. Just hear me. Just repeat. Don't bully me. Don't boss me. Don't ignore me. Don't run from me. Don't hide from me. Just wait for me. Just wait for me. I need friends whom I can smile with. I need friends whom I can learn and grow with. Don't see me differently because I don't want to. According to UNESCO, 75% of special kids in India don't attend schools, and number of dropouts increase every year. Three-fourths of the age of 5 years and one-fourth of the between 5 to 19 years never reach higher institutions. The reason can vary from accessibility, inflexible curriculum, poor policies and plans, or the lack of diagnosis. But even in the case where parents want a stable education system for this specially gifted child, lack of inclusivity in the mainstream is a big drawback, a big hurdle. Ironically, हमें ये लगता है कि हम इन बच्चों को exclude करके हमारा कुछ gain हो रहा है. But little we realize that they enrich our lives in many ways. They teach us how to give love. They teach us how to give. They teach us empathy. हमें एक अच्छा इंसान बनने के लिए बनाते हैं.
Hello, welcome you all to Ketchup Mom's Let's Talk Show, episode number 10. Today's episode is all about inclusivity of special kids by the school peers. And in the panel, we have three experts, Miss Seema Bali, Vice Principal at St. Mary's High School, Dwarka, educationist by profession, a climate leader by passion, and OVOV, our views and our voices, trainer under NCD Alliance. Then we have Ms. Monica Dinesh, special educator, psychologist, working in the field of special educators, especially in inclusive education since 22 years. Headed by Special Education Department in various reputed schools like St. Mary's School, Dwarka, Sri Ram Millennium School, Noida, and presently she's a principal of a special school called Anand Center for Learning.
Namaste.
Then we have Ms. Pratima Tiwari. She's an RCA registered rehabilitation professional, a special educator, and a mother to a special child with an experience of 15 years. She's the head of the department, ASMAN, a section for developmentally challenged within St. Mary's Dwarka, and also head of remedial setup, Sahayam Charitable Trust. We welcome all of you for our talk show today and our viewers. A very good evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So if we have to start the whole talk show, I would like Ms. Monica ma'am to tell us what is the special needs from the physical, mental and emotional point of view.
Special needs, when we say this word, there are so many things which come into my mind. But when we are talking here, I think that I should explain in a very technical way. Nowadays, special needs is very much in air, and any person, any child whose needs are different than his or her peer group is called special needs, right? So if the curriculum is taught in a particular scenario or in a particular environment, and if a child needs a little effort, maybe little individual attention, that is also can be considered as special needs, right? If a child is having any sensory or senses lack or deficit of senses, and the person requires something extra material to be taught from, that is also can be considered special needs. If a child is from a broken family or some other kind of family where the child is dealing with emotional issues and he's not at par to his other peer group, his emotional things are not at set. So we can call it special needs. So in my opinion, anything which is diverted भी नहीं कह सकते, which is, you know, more than the other. If there is something which the child needs, even a genius children, if they also consider, are also considered with special needs. And I just want to say that special needs does not mean only deficit. It can be more than average also. So a person who is not into this boundary and requires something else which other children are not requiring, or other person is not requiring to learn something, then the person is called with special needs. So when I say genius children, so when they are sitting in the classroom, right, the curriculum, the teaching is not according to them, because they require more than that. Their understanding, their comprehension, their learning is better than other peer group. So we have to design something for them. We have to give them something extra. So here also we have to work little extra for that child. So that child is also with special needs. So I just want to say that special needs should not be considered in a negative term. So in some arena, I can also have some special needs, right? Even all of us must be having some or the other special needs in terms of that. So saying special needs, today what I am seeing, when we talk about special needs, we are already excluding these children or these people from the mainstream society, mainstream scenario. So I have to, from this platform, I want to tell everybody and I want to request everyone that special needs is not from outside. It is from our own society. So special needs means only to make little effort to meet their needs. That's all the special needs according to me. But when we talk about law or definitions or associations, then definitely there are various kinds of special needs. There can be intellectual, according to intellectual abilities. There can be according to physical abilities. There can be according to hearing, visual, any other kind of special needs can be considered. So this is what special needs is according to me.
So, Seema ma'am, I would want to know actually, why is the attitude of parents and teachers is very important in including the children with special needs in the mainstream education?
Yeah, thank you so much, Shiny. Actually, the way Monica has beautifully put up the definition of a child with special needs, so it resonates with each one of us in one way or the other. We human beings are social in nature. We like to live with our friends. It's a socially accepted society. So it has to be an inclusive society. We cannot create another society for someone who belongs to us. So that society cannot be created. So for that, we elders, we as parents and teachers have to have a very positive attitude, and an attitude which is more accepting, and an attitude which is proactive in the way that our approach has to be constructive. Because if we are talking about, I'm talking from the perspective of a school and a family, parents are the first teachers, and then comes the school teachers. So if we have a positive constructive approach, and children will always look up to their parents, or they will look up to their teachers. They are their role models, they are their heroes. So they will emulate them in each and every, in one walk of their life or the other. So they will idolize them. And if we have that kind of attitude where they are emulating us, so we have to have our act in order. We have to have our attitudes in place. It can be our action, our reaction, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we portray ourselves, the way we talk, the way we think, the way we share our perspective in a classroom situation or with our own biological kids. That matters. Our attitude does matter. So we are actually dealing with our own children and children in the school in their formative years. So it becomes very important for us to, keep a check on our attitude. It's not even a check. If we have from heart, soul, and spirit, if we have empathy, that empathy can seep down to our own children and to the children of the school. So we have to have an approach, an attitude which should be resonating, which should be constructive, and that is why it does matter.
Okay, so when it is attitude, I think the attitudes do have a kind of a push or a role to play when the acts are in its place. For example, now different countries have different acts which actually protect the educational interest of the special needs. The typical example is the IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education of US. So do we in India have any kind of such act which can protect the education of the special need kids? Ms. Pratima, if you can just answer this.
Yeah, of course we do have. We have got the RCI Act, we have got National Trust Act, then we have got PWD Act. It was initiated in 1995, and after that, lot many amendments have been done in that act. So today, the PWD Act is known as RPWD Act, which is Right of Persons with Disability Act. So this act says lots of things, like it has given the definition of special need in a very dynamic way. It has included the number of disability has gone from 7 to 21. It has included dwarfism, acid victim. They have added all these to the list of the disability. It also talks about 5% reservation in higher education for PWD, 4% reservation in jobs, government jobs, 3% reservation in private sector jobs. So it is talking about all these things. Then free and compulsory education to the children who are in age range of 6 to 18 years, barrier-free environment. So it's a very vast and lengthy thing. We will be putting a link in our comment section from which we can, gather all the information. We are going to put the information over there. If anyone listening to us can have that link and see that link and can have the whole information. So RPWD Act, apart from that, there are a lot of laws like family and succession law, education law. These all talk about, how to protect the interest of special need children, and especially there are laws for women alag se, there are laws for children alag se. So government is doing quite a bit for that. Yes, there are flaws, there are things, but we have to just wait and watch how the government evolves these laws furthermore.
Now that like we have laws, and that like in India, in spite of law for special kids, we are mostly not law abiding. So, and we tend to cater or under the pressure, societal pressure. So therefore, the tendency is to avoid like we tend to avoid social gatherings with the special kids, and the peers don't even invite them for the birthday parties. So, Monica, can you answer this? Does this all impact the emotional quotient of the kids, these special kids in India?
Of course, of course. As just now, Seema ma'am has also mentioned about this. So how can see? Human being is a social. It needs a society. It's not a hidden fact. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And it's a basic requirement of a human being. And if you are putting that child out of the society, how can it? How it cannot impact on the growth of the child? Definitely it can negative. I will not say positive. It will be a negative impact on the child's emotional growth, social growth, and cognitive growth. Everything is correlated. It's a cycle. Suppose one thing is missing, then definitely it's going to make an impact on child's other health also. So mental health is related to your emotional health is related to your social health is related to your cognitive, and it's all going to impair your academics, which is so most important nowadays, according to parents and the society. So if we are not including these children, अगर हमारे समाज में अपने ही हमारे लिए ही इंसानों के लिए ही अगर नहीं जगह है, इन बच्चों के लिए अगर नहीं जगह है, तो आप सोचिए ना वो खुद को कैसे इसका पार्ट समझ सकते हैं. If I give a small example, अगर अभी हम लोग यहाँ पर सारे लोग बैठे हैं, and if somebody just take my name and send me out of this, how much I'm going to feel about it.
Even like we don't even relate to it.
Exactly. Basic anxiety disorders can develop through it. Depression disorders can develop through it, and mood disorders. There can be a lot of negative impact on child's growth. So हम तो फिर इतने बड़े हो गए, and then also we cannot cope with such anxieties and such stress. So how can we, can you just imagine what this child is going through? So definitely social seclusion affects child's every growth, every area, every.
I think it's with every kid, I believe. मतलब किसी भी
Yes.
बच्चे को affect करेगा, whether it's a special or non-special.
Or non-special.
Absolutely. यही तो bullying होता है ना. This is what bullying is also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is we say no to bully and everything, and then we ourselves do it with our special needs children. So that's an irony.
Yeah.
Very true, very true. And Miss Pratima, you are a special educator, and with the conversation what we had with you, we understand you started this journey for the as a special educator mainly due to your own son Anand, who is a special need child. So actually, I don't want to call special need child at all because they are gifted child, you know. So it kind of pains me when we say special need child. I think I'll recoin it. Gifted child you have got, Anand. So can you give us some, a brief about your journey, how you became a special educator?
Anand was born. He was 2.5 years old, and his all his milestones were, otherwise all his milestones were normal, but he was not talking. So not talking, and couple of behavioral issues like he has less comprehension, he was not responding to names, he was not giving eye contacts and all. So one of our family doctor, he said that maybe he is having some kind of hearing issues, so get the audiometry done. So we went to Chennai Apollo. My husband works at that time he was working with Indian Navy. So we were in a godforsaken place called Arkonam. So Chennai was the nearest place for us. So we went over there, and fortunately enough, Anant was diagnosed in the very first, in the beginning itself. Otherwise, I've seen parents who will be running from pillar to post to get their child diagnosed. So वहाँ पे जब audiometry करवाया, then we came to know that he has got no hearing issues, but he has got. Now, at that point of time, we were absolutely clueless about what autism is. So it did not hit me actually. कि ठीक है autism है तो है कुछ होगा, I don't know. But again, this was a new term, so the doctor suggested over there that you should go through the journals and read a lot. So we started educating ourselves about autism, कि what is autism, what happens in autism. उसके बाद we got it, first formal diagnosis was done from Action for Autism, and the second formal diagnosis was done from Tamanna. So when I went to AFA and Tamanna, then only that realization started coming inside me. Okay, fine, this is what is going to be my son's life. Like seeing children over there, seeing the kind of problems they were facing, उस वक्त realize हुआ that okay fine, this is my journey and this is how I have to do and this is how my child has to suffer. But I took it heads on. We got ourselves transferred to Delhi on compassionate ground. My husband was working with Naval Headquarters, and then I started taking Anand for early intervention program in Tamanna. So that helped a lot. During his first assessment, I was told that he may not develop language at all. He will be a totally non-verbal child. So that was a very depressing thing for me, because Anand at that time was a absolutely non-verbal child and kuch bhi nahi bolta tha. So I was like, he is going to be like this throughout his life. I mean, that was not absolutely incomprehensible.
How old was he that time?
He was 3 at that time. So, but we started the speech therapy, OT, special education, everything we got started. Fortunately enough, we were working a lot with him, and he started picking up words. Babbling start kara, then picking up similar kind of words. Then he started joining 2 different kind of letters, and like first he was saying de, le. Then he started joining pa and ni together, pani. So need based speech he started developing, but it was a tough journey. For each and everything we used to teach him, like the things which are absolutely not taught to children. बोलना हम सिखाते नहीं, बच्चा अपने आप सीख जाता है through imitation and all. But for Anant, it was like we have to teach him everything. This is the pen, this is the glass, this is the bottle. For everything we were naming. So we were constantly talking to him. And the speech therapist used to come thrice a week. So fortunately enough, he started picking up, words. Then he graduated from early intervention, and we were told that he can go to a normal regular schooling because he was a very quiet child. Other than not being non-verbal, he was not a very difficult child. So I put him in St. Mary's School. St. Mary's School has been, pillar of strength for me as well as for my son. उसने वहीं से अपनी सारी स्कूलिंग करी फ्रॉम KG till 8th-9th standard. He was in St. Mary's School. He's learned how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, how to socialize, all these things he learned from our school. And then after that, when he turned 17, then I thought that I will be enrolling him for some 10th or 12th exam. But somehow I got him enrolled in NIS, but somehow I did not feel like, he was absolutely not interested in. After one point of time, when he has, learned reading and writing, अब उसको 10th की पढ़ाई करवाना was like, he was not understanding anything. He was not comprehending anything, whatever we were telling him. So I dropped the idea. At least I have dropped for now, and I'm more inclined towards vocational training, skill-based training. So I'm looking forward to that. Once the pandemic gets over, we will be doing that. So in nutshell, Anant was not a very difficult child. He did not give us very much difficult moments, but then yes, he has his own meltdowns from time to times. छोटा था जब उसकी स्पीच नहीं थी तब प्रॉब्लम्स ज्यादा थे. अभी वो धीरे धीरे समझ रहा है, बट adolescence is creeping in. तो adolescence के दूसरी तरीके की प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है. But ठीक है, मतलब compared to what I have seen and parents suffering, I would say that I have been very lucky, and I have got a perfect platform in the beginning itself. That is our school.
Is it? He is extremely good in dates and numbers, right?
Yeah.
That's something like a,
So if you tell him any date, he will, within seconds, he will tell you the day of that date. So he can go, 10 years ahead, 10 years backward. But that's a thing of encouragement, but I don't know how to use it in his daily life skills. So we try to associate all his learning through calendars and numbers. So that way we are trying to tap that energy and that
potential
skill for him.
That's a kind of skill to be appreciated, of course. In a good way, of course, we can take it forward. So yeah, Seema ma'am, actually, how does your school of such a great repute practice this inclusivity of special kids in your school? How do you guys include these kids in your school?
So Shiny, going back to school, if I have to tell you, the journey of special school in our school started with one single kid, and the strength of the school was 250 to 270, and today we have some 2,500 students. So our principal had a vision when she first observed this child. That was way back in 2002. So she thought that this child needs some kind of attention because he had a very short attention span. So from there, there was no book to follow. There were no guidelines to follow. The system just developed from one child. His needs were catered to. Then came in the second child. Then
know about it. There are only some special things also happening. There's anything called delayed learning. We all never knew about it.
Exactly.
So I think recently, now, we are aware of these things.
Yeah. So our principal, Mrs. Matthews, was very, proactive in this, and she immediately, started the interventions and this and that, and then, it just, kept adding with the passing year. But all their needs were looked after, because inclusivity, if you say in our school, the first step would be not only school but society should be sensitization. The teachers, the students, they had to be sensitized, because we don't know the background of the children who are coming, what is their background, what is their level of sensitization. And the teachers also, and teachers were, they were adults, they are adults, they are sensitized, but they didn't have the tools and means and aids. So a lot of hand holding is required for those teachers, because we didn't have any special educators. Now also, when we are talking about special educators, the teachers who are in the classes, we the main aim of St. Mary's is to enroll, take these kids, then train them, and then include them in the mainstream. So for that, the teachers who are in the classrooms dealing with other 40, they also have to be equipped with all the nuances of the special needs, and how to identify, how to help. So they, time to time, workshops are conducted for them, and then we have a peer buddy in the class. So this child is assigned a buddy who looks after, depending upon the need, if it's learning disability or delayed learning or whatever is required. The special educator comes and tells the teacher. They have regular meetings. The teacher tells this buddy that this is your what you need to do. And all the children are sensitized, they because it is in their system, they see it every day from 2002 to now. So it doesn't bother them, they don't feel anything. It's like they are they are a part of their journey, so it doesn't bother them at all. So this child, this peer, this buddy, sometimes you'll see wheelchair born children also, when they come in the morning, when the parents come and drop them. So these buddies are there, waiting near the main gate with their wheelchairs. They'll greet them good morning, and then they'll escort them to their class. They'll take them to the lift. From the lift, then they're taken to the classes. So whether it's their newspaper, whether it's taking out their tiffins, whether it is taking them to the special section or labs or wherever, so they just keep accompanying them. So this child also grows with them, and it's like their happiness quotient also is lifted. And I don't think there's any a child from this section who will ever say that I don't want to go to school. They look forward going to school. And in this age of the lockdown and the schools being online, they all are waiting to come back to school, not so much to study, but to socialize with their peers, to meet their buddies. And on phone also they'll be so basically what lockdown has done, we call it social distancing. I think it is physical distancing more. We are connecting with each other, and yeah. So it's like that. And yeah, so we are empowering our teachers to sensitizing our students, empowering our teachers through workshops, so that all these children are included. And these buddies, they get a Good Samaritan award end of the year, when the school winds up with the entire year's activities, the co-curricular activities, and the sports activities. So these children, these buddies are also given awards. So the buddy and this children who needs the child who needs special, both of them come together on the stage, on the field, and then they receive this award. They feel so proud. And looking at them, others also then want to become buddies next year. So next year, what happened? Again, their sections are shuffled, so buddy changes. So it's like a learning exercise for them also. That's how empathy also is inculcated in them subtly. So that's how it goes about. And apart from being the touching the social angle, the emotional angle, like Monica ma'am and Pratima ma'am was telling you, even like a vice principal, I'll tell you, like it's also the infrastructure that has to be a special child friendly. If it is for a wheelchair child, a wheelchair born child, then the ramps, the lifts, and some children, they need other than the buddies, they need help during wash, to go to the washrooms for the needs. And they are included in all the picnics, all the assemblies, all the the shows that they put up on the on the stage. So they're a part and parcel of it. They'll be there in comparing, so whatever is there. So they have belongingness. They belong to one class, they belong to one section. They'll say, I belong to 7A, these are my classmates.
I think that most importantly, they belong to a school, like they're like pure school, mainstream school. That's a bigger thing, I believe.
Correct. So that is what inclusivity is. It's integration, and it is also not only academics, it's much more than academics. It is, lifting each and every quotient, their emotional quotient, their happiness quotient, their spiritual quotient, because they pray together. Even they do mock drills during, when we do mock drills in a school for earthquake or for fire or whatever, especially for fire drills. So, from the beginning of the year, we tell them that, these are the bhaiyas and didis of 11th and 12th standard. They will come and assist you whenever there is a siren, when there is a mock drill. So if they know their duty, so they'll go, and there's a, the ayah or the didi or the bhaiya, they are also the support staff is also assigned duty. So they will be taken out to the field. So like that, micromanagement is done in terms of rendering help and, looking after their needs. That's it. Like Monica ma'am said, little bit of lending of help, lending a hand, lending a ear to their problems sorts all the problems.
Correct.
Amazing. Simply amazing. In fact, this is called actually the inclusivity.
Yeah.
Right.
Inclusivity in a very, 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 very simple way. And this inclusivity actually makes everybody a good human being.
True.
And in this kind of a scenario where it becomes very mandatory for each and every school to get this inclusivity in place, there has to be some special methodology for diagnosing. We call it as a prime thing to diagnosis. Okay, if there is there anything like a special methodology to diagnosis? Monica ma'am, if you can
Yeah, sure. Pratima also mentioned this when she was talking about Anand. She said she was fortunate to get him diagnosed in a very primitive age, right? So diagnosis is one thing which is very, very important. It's not only in case of, again, special needs. In any case of disorder or even disease, if the diagnosis is correct, definitely you are going to get a better treatment. It goes with the special needs child also. But the thing is, there are different kind of tools to assess different kinds of disabilities. So there is a different classification which is globalized also, right? But again, many things are there which is culturally fair or culturally biased. It depends on your culture also. So at times, what happens? Some test is made for some other society, maybe for America or maybe for Japan or maybe for some other country, and the same test is administered in India. That is not going to work. So it is very, very much important to know about the assessment process. And when we talk about education of special,
we can't hear you, Monica.
Yeah. Whatever it may be, any kind of disability we are talking about, there are different tools. And for intellectual disability, there are psychologists, clinical psychologists rather, who do these kind of assessment. And when we are talking in terms of schooling, so they have to have a RCI registered practitioner. Psychologists should be RCI, Rehabilitation Council of India gives us license. Like doctors get their licensing, similarly rehabilitation professionals also get their licensing. Even clinical psychologists get their licensing. So Rehabilitation Council of India should be registered with RCI. That means they should be getting license from them, and then only that report will be valid. There are many kinds of tests. लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी के लिए बहुत सारे टेस्ट है, टॉवल है और भी सारी तरह के रीडिंग राइटिंग लर्निंग टेस्ट है. बिकॉज लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी में द फर्स्ट कंडीशन इज योर IQ should be normal, right? And other areas of learning is impaired. Maybe it's a dyslexia, maybe it's dysgraphia. When there is a problem in reading, that's dyslexia. When there is a problem of writing, it's dysgraphia. Problems of spelling, processing speed, there are so many things. Even the processing speeds matter. जितनी देर में आप मेरी बात को प्रोसेस करेंगे, you are doing it simultaneously. But there are children who have problem with processing time also. They are processing the information little delayed. By that time they understand the previous information, तब तक की आगे information उनसे निकल चुकी होती है. So that's create a gap. So there are different types of tests which these clinical psychologists administer on these children, and they find out the real problem, where the real problem is lying, right? So that is one thing which is very, very much important. But again, as I always say, from heart and soul, I am a special educator. Of course, I have a degree of psychology also. At times I have seen, it's my personal opinion, I'm not saying to anybody, it's my personal opinion, and according to my personal experience, I'm telling it to you. At times it happens, children come with some report, and because we are working with the child for months and years, and we can come to know that child has more potential from this report, right? So it's not always that जो आपका report हो गया वही आपका सब कुछ है. It's not like that. It's a baseline for you. So you have to identify, because you are the designer of that, you are the architect of that child's life and of that child's program. So you have to be very careful as a special educator after assessment also. We have our own assessments. Even in St. Mary's School, we have our own assessment tools. When the child comes with the psychologist assessment, we assess child on our level also. Isn't it, Pratima ma'am?
Yes, we do that. We
Level
do
of
that.
child.
Special educators do the academic assessment.
Not only academic, all kind of functional assessment, whether it's motor skills, whether it's language, whether it's social skills, whether it's activity of daily living, even eating, toileting, everything is being assessed by the special educator. So clinical psychologist का एक legal aspect है, एक formal aspect है, और एक basic base है हमारे लिए, and then we do our own assessment and make plan accordingly. So that's how the assessment works.
So you take the inputs from the psychologist as well.
Yeah,
of course.
It's always a teamwork. It's always a teamwork.
Correct.
Yeah, therapists are also involved.
Speech and occupational therapist, speech therapist.
And we have educators who take care of the right?
Yeah. Yes.
So we have an educator, we have a psychologist, we have a therapist, but the main segment of people who has to be actually be prepared are the parents. Because special need kids need a special care, and what, where, and how, and from whom to start. These are all a lot of lingering questions which is there in any parent's mind. So how does a parent get ahead with this? Go ahead, take it forward.
I think when the parent feel that there is some diversion in normal growth milestones or cognitive milestones, they should reach to their doctors, pediatrician, and psychologist. If there is academic and cognitive issues or emotional issues, then definitely even behaviors are the sign. If you find that the behavior is diverting from the so-called normal behavior, then you should consult with the psychologist, and specifically clinical psychologist, not any other psychologist. There are different kinds of branches in psychology. So for us, we have to go to the clinical psychologist, not other psychologists, and your doctor. But initially, these are the two people who are helping you. Or maybe I'm sure parents जब पहली बार पता लगता है तो उनको इस फील्ड के बारे में कुछ पता नहीं होता, so they can easily find out doctors and psychologists, not the special educators or therapists. So the first target should be doctors and clinical psychologists. So always remember clinical psychologist, not counseling or other psychologist. Yes.
So like how, what, where, like everything.
Yeah, there are many hospitals, leading hospitals. Every hospital nowadays, whether it's a Fortis, whether it's Max, or there are government hospitals, AIMS, Safdarjung, And I would always suggest that initially you should go to the government hospitals, because private hospitals charges and government hospitals से एक और फायदा होता है, you can get all the benefits, whatever is government giving you.
Disability certificate and all those.
You have that assessment for each and every benefit what government is giving to you. You should have that, and government hospitals का ही वो valid रहता है. सिर्फ academics के लिए, schools के लिए आपको RCI registered चाहिए रहता है. So government hospitals have their own department. Even AIMS has a very big department of psychology and rehabilitation. Amity University has a very good rehabilitation department. Then there is one institution called NIPSIT, which is in Cospas area. That is also government institutional, and their assessments are wonderful. So we can go to many clinical psychologists. You can get a list of clinical psychologists, like many famous who are there since so many years. Dr. Uma Kumar is there, Jiten Ampal is there. I mean, you can get the list. But again, I will always promote parents to go to the government institution for getting the assessment done because it's economical, it's reliable. तो आप किसी भी psychologist के पास अच्छे hospital में जाएंगे तो reliable तो होता ही है, but we have to see the middle class parents and poor parents pocket also because they also deserve the same treatment and same opportunities.
Different from the normal psychologists?
Of course. Child psychologists are different from the clinical psychologists. Counseling psychologists are different from the clinical psychologists. And
right now we are looking at the clinical side.
Yes, clinical psychologists are the only people who can do clinical assessments. You know, सिर्फ doctors ही अगर आप specific kind of treatment के लिए जा रहे हैं तो you'll go to a particular doctor, yeah, right? Specialized doctor. दांत के लिए आप dentist के पास ही जाओगे ना. Similarly, for assessments, you have to go to the clinical psychologist. That is, and RCI registered.
Seema ma'am, I just wanted to know, when kids come for the admission at your school, so is the acceptance of the parents that their kid is a special one? So is it a kind of a hurdle in starting with the journey of their education system? Kids education.
Yeah, you know, there are two aspects to this. One is a parent is educated. We have Pratima ma'am here. They diagnosed when the child was 2 years, 2.5 years old. Luckily, that was, you know, by chance they found out. They went and knocked the right door. They understood what the problem was. Like, though, you know, she the way she's mentioned it, कि चलो मैंने कहा autism है, देखेंगे क्या होता है. But they accepted कि हाँ कोई problem तो है. अब उस problem को कैसे deal करना है, then that became their, you know, now they created a roadmap कि अब हमें next क्या करना है. So these are one kind of parents who identify themselves, you know, depending upon the behavior of the child or the development or the achievement of milestone and so on and so forth. एक दूसरे कैटेगरी के एक दूसरा एस्पेक्ट ये होता है कि कई पेरेंट्स होते हैं, एक्चुअली होते भी हैं, जो बच्चों को पता ही नहीं चलता है. वो अपने हाइपर एक्टिवनेस घर में ही बस वो कूदते कूदते स्कूल पहुंच जाते हैं, यू नो, 3 years 3.5 years में, और आइडेंटिफाई नहीं हो पाता. फिर वो 3.5 से 4.5 में नेक्स्ट ईयर दूसरी क्लास में चले जाते हैं, या उसी टाइम पे जो स्पेशल एजुकेटर है या फिर नॉर्मल क्लास की जो टीचर है उसको वैसी उसकी ओरिएंटेशन होती है टीचर की, उसकी वर्कशॉप्स होती हैं, तो उसको पता होता है कि मुझे कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करना है. वो टीचर आइडेंटिफाई करती है कि लग रहा है कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. वो फिर देन शी ब्रिंग्स टू आवर नोटिस, टू द नोटिस ऑफ आवर प्रिंसिपल हु इज आल्सो ए स्पेशल एजुकेटर, एंड फिर हम लोग उससे पेरेंट्स को बुलाते हैं, फिर उनसे बात करते हैं. अब जरूरी नहीं है कि फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड में ही यू कम टू नो कि there is some problem. Sometimes second and third and fourth and fifth कि okay, पहले लगता है कि अच्छा पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा, हो सकता है, you know, is, you know, frivolous, yeah, the child is frivolous, is not focusing, he lacks concentration. Where parents are working parents हैं, तो ध्यान नहीं दिया, पढ़ा नहीं, फाउंडेशन ठीक नहीं है, कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर नहीं है. So there are so many reasons in first standard, second standard, as far as learning disability is concerned. But when he reaches fourth, fifth, then he cannot string a single sentence in English or Hindi, or, you know, the words are not coming, or कुछ भी पेपर में, you know, writing whatever he wants to write, और तब पता चल जाता है थर्ड फोर्थ स्टैंडर्ड में कि हाँ लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी है. हाइपर एक्टिव है वो तो शुरू में ही पता चल जाता है. तो इट डिपेंड्स कि इफ अ पेरेंट हैज नॉट बीन एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई genuinely, so you know it depends कि जोन सी डिसेबिलिटी है या जोन सी प्रॉब्लम है वो कौन से साल में पता चलेगी. वो डिपेंड्स कि कितनी परसेंटेज ऑफ, you know, the problem is severe or not severe.
Absolutely.
Then they are recommended, you know, to go to a psychologist or a clinical psychologist, get the assessment done. Then that's the time the special educators come in. They also see the kind of, they go and sit through the class, through the various classes in the classroom. Also they go and sit through the classes to see the child's behavior, how is the behavior in different subjects. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मैथ्स में ही हो रहा है, ऐसा तो नहीं हिंदी में ही हो रहा है, गेम्स और स्पोर्ट्स में तो अच्छा से मस्त चल रहा है, लेकिन यहीं पर ऐसे हो रहा है. So, you know, there are various parameters that the special educator has to go through. That is why it is individualized attention, and it is individualized plans that they have to follow, and individualized roadmap they have to take forward to. Now when we call parents, when the child has reached second standard or third or fourth or fifth, some parents who are not only educated, some educated parents also are, they will revolt कि ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता,
That's why
my child is perfect. You all are declaring him that he doesn't know. He is just pampered. His grandparents are pampering him. That is why he will learn. Don't worry. ऐसे भी होते हैं और कई होते हैं. And there are some who show gratitude. कि हाँ हाँ, whatever is there, we will do whatever you are recommending us. We'll go get an assessment done, and we need help. If you are saying so, we believe in you. ऐसे भी होते हैं. So these are different, mixed bag of parents that you have, and you have to deal with them. And अगर जो नहीं मानते हैं कि नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, then what happens is that after 1 year or 2 year or 3 year उनको खुद को दिखता है the performance going down or behavioral issues. तो वो अपने आप उनको आज नहीं तो कल मानना पड़ता है. But my this thing, suggestion and advice is the moment the school identifies or calls for call the parents to the school and tells them or discusses the problem, they should at least not be revolting. They should work hand in hand with the school, with the teachers, and take it forward. देखो तो सही कितने percentage, कितनी ज्यादा जरूरत है help की, कितनी नहीं है. Accept करना चाहिए. अगर कुछ है, अगर कोई बोल रहा है, हम लोग भी बहुत स्कूल में हर टीचर से पूछ के the previous teacher, the present teacher, different teachers, we discuss with everybody. Only then the parents are called. The educators, special educators, assess them in the class. Only later the parents are called, and we break the news that some problem is there. You need to do an assessment. That's all. So if they're proactive, if they go ahead with the suggestions or recommendations that are given, they will be at the front foot. नहीं तो क्या होता है, after 2-3 years they will be at a back foot. Lost so many years of intervention. Like Pratima ma'am said, in the early years only Anant was diagnosed. So
like we say, ma'am, that the phrase is there, as early as we can intervene. So early intervention means that jitni jaldi hum kar le.
That is the thing. So yes, it is difficult to convince parents and tell them, but then eventually they understand the need.
Seema ma'am, you are the better one who can tell us कि inclusive education से peers को क्या benefit मिलता है? Part like, yeah, of course they are like empathetic, they try and like they are the givers basically, but what else, what can
see in a society they also have to accept कि ये जो मेरा peer है, जो ये मेरा buddy है, या जो मेरी classroom में इसकी situation है, they also realize this कि कल को it's not that a person who's born with it. Sometimes there is certain disability that due to accident or something a person can come across later in life. Unfortunately, kuch ho jata hai, maybe some misfortune, maybe something. I remember one child who was in our school. What was the name of that child? Pratima ma'am, who passed away last year. He finished class 12. Souvik. Till class till class 2, second standard, third standard, he was a normal. He used to run.
Yeah. Fourth
standard. Till fourth standard, he was normal. He was playing in the ground, running. While playing, he just, he fell. But khelte gir gaya. He came back to the class. Then, after some days, again he fell. Then this frequency of falling became more, Then, our principal called for the parents and asked them कि लग रहा है कि कुछ problem है. Parents को भी नहीं पता था, teachers को भी नहीं पता था. So then they went and got it checked. And then they came to know that he had developed muscular dystrophy. And then his condition started deteriorating. ऐसे भी conditions हैं कई parents को नहीं पता होता है. And then he started, his health conditions, then he lost his lower limbs, and then slowly he used to walk with support. That also went. Then he came on a wheelchair. वो भी चला गया. Somehow he managed to do class 12. He passed class 12 last year, and then after that,
and then he passed away.
We lost.
Friends used to be a great support for him in the classroom, taking his wheelchair from one place to another. So they also learn empathy. टीम वर्क, तो उनको भी काफी कुछ लर्न करने को मिलता है.
और उसके फ्रेंड्स फोर्थ स्टैंडर्ड से वही सब थे और वो देख रहे थे ये तो हमारे साथ खेलता था, इसको बाय चांस ऐसे कैसे हो गया. तो उनके भी वो जो बच्चे वो बहुत ज्यादा सेंसिटिव होते हैं, वो उनकी वो बिलोंगिंगनेस, ये मेरा फ्रेंड है, he is my classmate, and whether it's a boy, whether it's a girl, we are a co-ed school, everybody gets sensitized. They are so fond of them, they will not, even if they are not assigned work, they'll just go and help. We can see that, we can feel that vibe. So we feel that we have touched, through this, have touched that emotional angle of each and every child. That's how they have grown. Emotionally, they grow.
And in that way, I'm sorry, I'm breaking here. In that way, we are creating a chain of sensitization. These children are sensitizing their parents, their siblings, and then this wave is going on. So that's I think that's the best time and best thing to do it with the children and within the school. So it's making a inclusive society when they are going out.
So, if you look at it, this inclusive education actually is going to strengthen the special talents in them than highlighting their weakness. Is it not, Pratima ma'am? Like your son, he is amazing with dates and numbers. So, what way this inclusive education has helped him to, strengthen his the main talent part of it? And
I was, like I told you earlier, that Anant was very lucky and I was very lucky that we got St. Mary's School because it has got a wonderful atmosphere. So Anant ka thing, when it got discovered, it was being promoted from all sides, including my principal. So Shimam used to tell me all the time कि यहाँ भेजो वहाँ भेजो मैं कैसे help कर सकती हूँ. So she was always in the picture and the forefront. So it's not only about Anant, it's about other kids also. I'll give you just one example. We have got a fourth class employee and his son is studying was studying at that point of time in prep, KG prep mein tha wo, and he was like, he was in prep, but he was reading encyclopedias and big books he was reading. So one fine day we came to know about this, ma'am came to know about him, and then ma'am was like, इसका पहले तो तुम देखो क्या है. It's not that she is going to ignore just because he is a fourth class employee and not even giving fees and all those. कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है वहां से. And still she was, पता करो क्या है, how more we can help him, how more his academics can be helped. So हमने उसको फिर बोला कि okay, go and get a diagnosis done, because he was very quiet. Otherwise his behavioral things and mannerism were little different. So he was very quiet in the classroom, but he was doing this amazing thing. So we knew about Savan skill, what we call in autism, that some percent of autistic children, they are having this Savan skill in which they will be either linguistic or they will be having some kind of mathematical genius in them, or calendar like Anand does. Some will be like linguistic in the sense that उनको आपने सिखाया नहीं है, but they will be speaking in 2 to 3 languages or so. Then there are children who are very good with playing instrument without learning. So this is a typical autism thing. It's called Savan skill. So we, since Anant was there, so I was knowing that this is the year. So we got him like एक बार National Trust का कुछ आया था competition. So we got him enrolled for that because ma'am said that. So we, whenever we come to know that there is some strength in the child, we go and try to encourage it in whatever way possible. But we cannot say that everywhere it is being done. Being a head of the department for special need, there are many times when the parents come for admission from other schools and then they say that we want admissions for our child because our school is not promoting us. So it depends on school to school. There is no right and wrong answer for this. It depends on individual to individual also.
Monica ma'am, I wanted to ask, in बच्चों को हम inclusive education में, how they do they develop better, and do they perform better with the inclusive education?
Of course, बिल्कुल सही बात है. Inclusive education में children perform better because they get the same situation, same social scenario. Suppose if the child is kept in a special school and the child is not getting to imitate a socially accepted environment, so child is not getting that stimuli, that situations, that events. So how we are expecting him to behave in a socially accepted manner, right? When he's not able to see, how he's going to imitate it. So I'm not saying that only for the social behaviors. I'm talking about all kinds of learning. That is just an example. So whether it is academic, whether it is social, whether it is any kind of development, when the child is in the inclusive environment, and he's getting reinforcement from everyone, may it be his peer, may it be his family, may it be his teachers, may it be his school. So whatever reinforcement he's getting from others, it's going to give him a positive push, and this positive push is helping him to gain much better in his life and learn better things. So we always talk about positive learning environment. So a child is getting positive learning environment when he is in inclusion, provided we have to sensitize that particular school or particular not only children, we have to sensitize somewhere to the parents also, parents of the so-called normal children. So that is the thing. Definitely children learn better in inclusive setup. So that is why we are demanding for mainstreaming or inclusion.
Correct. Correct.
So, Seema ma'am, you are the vice principal. Can you tell us, like, does the CBSE or the ICSE, for that matter, even the IB, do they have this inclusive education as a prime thing in their schools?
You know, it is so heartening to share with you that the new education policy has
Yes,
also
yes.
got a lot of provision for them, number one.
Mm.
Second, even for the normal children, they want that, by as they finish class 12, they should have a core skill. And that is the ethos of the school. That's the entire ethos that, we are preparing our children for a vacation. So how are they productive to themselves? How are they making themselves financially stable? So that's the thing, and it gives me goose flesh to even think that we have seen our children being placed in good offices, as a they must have started as a corporate social responsibility, but our children are well placed. It is all because of all the training that is done in the school. I'm not talking about the grades in academics, but it's the vocational training and the skill. So it's all national policy says that means it's there everywhere. It will be there in all the spheres. So
Ma'am, this is going to be such a boon
Yes,
for us.
yes.
Very
Only
this is
Just
some good
only
news.
thing
waiting
is
for it to get implemented.
implementation.
Just
I mean, policy is so wonderful, and it has so much for not only us regular children but for special children also. But I'm not saying I'm being negative. There is so many things otherwise also. Like Supreme Court says that we cannot deny admissions to our special needs, but we are seeing that every school
Yeah,
is not
this
giving
is
admission to them.
still
So
happening.
implementation, I
hoga,
think
hoga.
we have to do it. We have to be
Yeah,
after
we have
every
to.
school.
We have to,
Yes,
we
yes.
are the torchbearers of this, so we have
Yeah.
to create a ripple
We'll
effect in the
keep on,
society.
Yes. I was talking about that ripple effect, so it has to be there. It has to be done.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
all be very positive about it, and then
Yeah.
it's going to be
Sure.
implemented.
Will
Let's
happen.
pray and join hands together.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, correct. So, okay, so education, Monica, I just wanted to ask this: education has become really, really expensive. As you know, it's an expensive affair for any, even for normal kids. But for special kids, it's like 4 times higher than the normal ones. So, how does this middle class families and people who cannot afford it, how would they manage?
That's really a question which I was just a minute ago. I was saying that implementation is something.
Yeah,
When we talk about special needs children, when we talk about disorders and disability, there are so many things. Like regular child is going to the school and just maybe going for the tuitions, right? But these children, they have to go to the special educator, occupational therapist, speech therapist, and ABA therapist, and n number of therapists. Definitely, the expenses is going to increase. And then when they go to school, so-called big schools also, in the name of special education, they say that there is a very less ratio, so they charge extra for them.
yeah, like
So,
it's 20%,
yes.
30% extra. Probably they'll ask for a shadow teacher and blah blah. Yeah.
Whatever. So they are definitely paying it. So this is the thing. I mean, from this platform, we have to say that parents and professionals have to join together to make a provision and to fight for it, because this is the right for, when we are saying that right to education, or right of freedom, right of equality, then it this is what I'm saying, that we have to work on implementation better, and we can do it when we all join together. अकेले सीमा मैम या सीमा मैम सोचे वो कर लेंगी, मैं सोचूं मैं कर दूंगी, आप सोचो आप कर लोगे, तो it's going to be एक एक लकड़ी तोड़ना आसान है, but when we all get together and we all going to do it as a social responsibility, we have to do it as parents, as professionals, as teachers, as school, all have to join together and say that we are going to provide these things to our children. Abhi to if you see the conditions of government schools, government special schools, it's pathetic. And if you see in government schools where they are saying that inclusive education is going on, they have hired special educators, you have to see those situations also. I mean, for that we have to be very vigilant, and we have to be proactive and make these kinds of arrangements and take lead to do it. As Seema ma'am said, we are the top leader.
I think it has to be an innate quality. We have to do what we want to do, and we have to, take people along with us who are like-minded, and then take it forward as a movement and make sure that it is implemented. And I don't think it will be difficult if we all get, we are together in this journey.
Because these are our children, so we have to make it possible.
Yeah, but वो our children सिर्फ our नहीं होना चाहिए, वो जो बाकी के एक क्लास में 40 बच्चे हैं, वो एक बच्चा स्पेशल नीड है तो 39 के लिए भी R ही होना चाहिए.
Exactly.
So that is important.
It has to be R everywhere. It has to be R.
Yes, it has to be R.
And you know what? If that happens, it's going to be amazing. We are going to have a fantastic country coming up. With all being good human beings, and inclusivity starts, I think, from home.
Yeah,
we can bring that inclusivity in them. I think they'll be the best human being, be it kids or be it the elders themselves. And to just sum it up or to get into the crux of it, I would ask Ms. Pratima that you are the mother of a special kid. You are a special educator. What is that beautiful golden rule or a golden advice? I won't say rule, and advice you want to give it to the mass.
I'll like to tell all the moms who are hearing, all my friends who are hearing, if you've got a special need child, it's not the end of the road. It's not that your life has ended here. Don't be alone. Form a kind of social circle for yourself. Find a support group for yourself. Don't be alone in this whole journey. Most importantly, educate yourself. It's very much important to know about your child's problems and issues and how to resolve it. The more you are knowledgeable, the more you will be able to help your child. Like autism mein maine bahut padha. I did my B.Ed because of Anand. So it's like, if you are not knowing, then you will be depending on others to cure your child. So school is just a facilitator, and you are the motherboard in your child's life. So if you are there for your child can do wonders. मैंने देखा है कि जहां कहीं पे भी ना पेरेंट्स थोड़ा सा स्टेप बैक ले लेते हैं, एंड दे आर मोर डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स. स्पेशल एजुकेशन इज नॉट अ रॉकेट साइंस. इट्स ऑल अबाउट हैविंग creative ideas, creative thoughts, empathy, patience. You can do wonders. So it's not that a special educator aayegi and then she will be only the person who will be able to teach your child ABCD. I mean, come on. For behavior, if the child is very much in behavior issues, you can go to ABA therapist and all those. But for education and all those, take the matter in your own hands. And another most important thing I would like to say to the moms listening, that do not, cut yourself from the society. Do not cut your child from the society. Go and have your life for yourself as well. Go for the movies, hang out with your friends. If you are happy, you will make your family happy, you will make your child happy. So it's very important that your own mental health is good, your family's mental health is good, because from a broken family, you cannot help. From a broken, your own heart broken, you cannot help your child. So I need you to be happy. And one last thing I would like to say, that document अपने सारे complete करो. Please have all your documents with you, like whether it is a disability card, whether it's a UTID card. So when you're having all the documents, you will get all the benefits which the government is giving. Whatever the government is giving, you need to have those, because financial issues बहुत होते हैं, and you get, you know, income tax में rebate मिलता है, train इसमें rebate concession मिलता है, airfare में concession है, bus travel में you get a free bus travel if the child is having some kind of disability. So if you are having that disability card with you, having that disability certificate or UTID certificate with you, then at least whatever the government is providing, you will have those things. So please don't wait for anyone to tell you, don't wait your school to tell you. This is the first thing which you should do for your child. So please go and complete your documentation and be a happy mom. This is not the end of the road. Trust me, it is maybe right now you are not making any sense of it, but the day will come when you will actually realize that why this child was in your life. It was there, he or she was there to teach you something. So be happy and make everybody happy.
So all viewers, on the comment section of ours, we have put in a link, which is a detailed information for you in terms of how to take it forward, answer all your queries of what, how, and where, and when. Ms. Pratima ma'am has given a wonderful information on that. Click on that link and you will have all the informations. And so now, yeah. So to put it in a nutshell, what Ms. Pratima ma'am is trying to say is that uh, activities are avoided, the certain experiences are excluded, food is forbidden, milestone are not met, you know. But these challenges, these kids did not choose it by choice. It was given to them, you know. So it is not out of choice that we have come up with this. And if these hindrances, if it is in the family's hand, whether they have to look at this as a tragic destination or to convert this weakness into strength, you know. So, that is all about inclusivity, what we're trying to say. Yeah.
We have like some of the viewers wants to know few
Yeah,
questions.
lot of questions have come up from viewers.
Yes. So we are starting with Arpita Tandon. Ms. Arpita Tandon has sent us 2-3 questions. She wants to know. One question is about the new education policy and how it helps St. I feel that government has not made any policy to aid and help them. We have answered this, but we can like again as a for a repeat because she had put in the question. So can we have this answer from Monica ma'am?
New education policy has many things for special needs children, as Seema ma'am also said. You know, first of all, they have included in teacher training program itself. You know, teacher training program में बहुत सारे changes किए जिसमें कि teacher को train किया जा रहा है not only for regular children but also for the special needs children. So in that way we can have more inclusive classrooms, I guess, and then there are you know, including core subjects, vocational training in and there will be streaming वाला चीज भी थोड़ा सा अब वो strictness नहीं रह जाएगी subjects के अंदर की मैथ्स के साथ फिजिक्स ही करना है, यू कैन चूज फिजिक्स के साथ म्यूजिक के साथ बायोलॉजी. सो इट विल बी चॉइस ऑफ द स्टूडेंट. सो इट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प नॉट ओनली द रेगुलर स्टूडेंट बट आवर ओन चिल्ड्रन. You know, they used to drop after class 8. Special needs children used to drop after class 8, even learning disability also. Either they used to do it from NIOS or they used to just drop from the schooling. So I think it's going, so it's going to help these children to do to continue their higher education of class 10, 12, and maybe higher also. So these are the things which is getting into education, and I have to go through that NEP more to get the benefit about, to find more benefits about it. Maybe Seema ma'am something to tell?
No, I think, and you know, there are elaborate, when I'm telling you about, you know, the normal kids, even they have to hone their skills as per their, you know, the choice. So it's going to be, so if you have one skill and you hone it and make it a profession, I think you're going to enjoy your life doing what you like. And, you know, you'll be there and it's going to guide you throughout your life.
So, okay. So how and where to go about vocational training
We
for
can
that.
also, yeah, similarly, we can share the link here also. They can, because it's an elaborate program that is there, they can, go through that link. We'll share the link with them, and it will give them an insight that how and what they have to follow and how they have to reach there.
Viewers, you can see in the comment section, there will be link provided by them. So we can view there to have a elaborate information. So we have Pratima ma'am, can you just tell us also about 8th grade or so many clueless about guiding kids education so that they get the basic, basic norm or by the board,
What is
basic
happening.
recognition by the board.
So we have got CBSE board, we have got ICSE board, and then we have got NIS. So all the three boards are nationally recognized board. If you are doing a normal schooling through CBSE, then CBSE provides you some kind of relaxations, which is exemption for third language. Then you can substitute the subject. Suppose the child is not good with maths, he can substitute it with home science or painting, any practical based subjects we prefer, so that the child can earn good marks in practical. Theory mein thoda sa kam bhi aata hai, so it compensates. And then during the time of exam, constitution is there to have a writer, prompter, reader, scribe, extra timing for 3 hours of paper, 1 hour extra time is being given. So these all facilities are given by
and from this year, CBSE has also allowed to use calculator for computation
calculators
class.
for visually impaired. And there are they can give exams through computers. And then mobile, they have got this magnifier, mobile magnifier, visual prompter. These all things can be given to visually impaired children. But again, there are some segment of children who cannot appear to through CBSE or ICSE. So for them, this is NIS is there. NIS is National Institute of Open Schooling. So what the NIS does, once you have got enrolled in NIS, this enrollment is valid for another 5 years. So you have got 5 years to finish your 10th and 10th exam. So after what we do, after 10th, we straight away go for the registration of, after 8th, we straight away go for the registration of 10th. And we have got 9, 10, 2 साल हमारे पास होते हैं to get the 5 subjects clear. तो बच्चा 1 साल में 3 सब्जेक्ट और 1 साल में 2 सब्जेक्ट करके क्लियर कर लेता है. Then it has got a facility on exam on demand. So if the child is, suppose the child has given 2 paper, and after 6 months he feels that okay, I'm ready with the 3rd paper, he can give exam on demand. Again, the NIS also has got n number of subjects to choose from. So the child can have vocational subjects which are as like in regular schools it's not provided. So the child has got more arena to choose from. So these all facilities are there for after 8th. Any facility you can choose.
Okay, there is one Mr. Ashish Malhotra. Okay, he's asking, why is my child not able to perform well in academics while he's very good with gadgets, mobile, laptop, and video games? Monica ma'am, if you can answer this.
Yeah. See, human mind, human brain, mind and brain are two different things. So human brain is a very complex thing. So we have different compartments at different form. Siva ma'am is also biology teacher, so she can tell us about the various parts of brains. So every part has a different function, right? So if there is one lobe which is helping you to balance your body or maybe seeing something, so if there is any issue, then there will be problem with something else, right? So maybe there is another compartment which is related to your logics, your reasons, your your academics. So at times what happens, your one brain is functioning properly and other is not. So there is some issues with that part of that brain. So it might be possible that is the problem where it is going. उसके अलावा मैंने आपसे कहा था, there are so many things which are going to impaired learning. Processing speed हो सकती है, आपके senses हो सकते हैं, आपका attention हो सकता है, Learning is a very complex process. Cognition is a very complex process. हमारे लिए easy है because we are blessed. We should thank to God for it. But for children who are struggling with these things, right? In autism also, if you ask Pratima, Anant is very good with computers and mobiles, and he can use that very much. But when it comes to cognition, because he's impaired in language,
Absolutely.
so his cognition is impairing. There, if we want, there can be a big argument. Still, it's going on. Infantile amnesia के बारे में अगर हम बात करें, infantile amnesia जो होता है, that the child till age of 2 or 3, the child is not able to remember anything because there is no language. So saying that my child is very good with gadgets and not with academics, that is a different function of brains which is conducted by different parts of the brain. So one part may be having some problem, koi chemical locha, koi wiring locha can be there, isn't it, ma'am? Electric impulse or something, something, which is very much difficult to find right now because brain के बारे में भी हमें बहुत ज़्यादा पता भी नहीं है. So researches are going on. We are still trying to find it out. पर इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम ये सोच करके बैठ जाए. We have to work to improve the things, and strength को भी हमें reinforce करना है और weakness को हमें recover करना है. So that is it.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ashish Malhotra, I think you got a very good answer from. This Miss Ahana Chaudhary. I think, ma'am, you can take this question. Teachers complain that my child does not sit in one place. How can I, as a parent, help on this?
The teachers complain or the parents complain? The teachers complain that the child does not sit.
Yeah.
See, the child does, that's the special need, or that's what is required. You have to keep the child busy. And the teachers, I don't think, this child will be, moving around. He's a hyperactive child, if at all it's about hyperactive activity that we are talking about. From the question, I feel that, the child is hyperactive. So we'll be moving around here and there. Also, if you discuss with your doctor, I think you need to sort out the diet, give them less carbohydrates and less sugars and less, so that, the child is not hyperactive. Give them more
all the aerated drinks and colas and
drinks,
preserved food,
preserved
junk food.
Correct. So the
avoid
first
all those from the menu altogether.
I think diet also plays a very important role for
very important. It's the first thumb rule for the mothers to see that they need to sort out the diet.
Especially
they can go chips ka packet pakda do, burger pakda do, aisa nahi hota. So if you formulate the diet plan and have less of carbohydrates and less of sugars, I think at least 40% of the problem of hyperactivity will be sorted. I feel, this is my personal, again, I don't have any certification. This is my what I observe.
That's a very much a fact.
Ma'am, ये researches हुए में, that is why ADHD children are put on gluten-free diet.
Gluten-free, that's what I was going to tell. But autism में also gluten-free diet we are, हालांकि we don't know the exact ये कि actually में फायदा होता है या नहीं होता है, but people are going for gluten-free diet. So at least carbohydrate and sugary content तो हम कम कर ही सकते हैं from the diet.
और मैम मुझे लगता है आजकल जो ये स्क्रीन टाइम बच्चों का बढ़ गया है ना, whether it is mobile or laptop or PS4 or whatever it is, उससे भी बहुत सारे रेडिएशंस होते हैं जो आपके ब्रेन के इम्पल्सेस को और केमिकल्स को इंक्रीज करते हैं.
Unfortunately, we are teaching through screen these days.
This is Mr. Nitin Verma. His question is, psychological assessments are very expensive. Is there any scheme by the government to help us this? Like basically he wants to know whether bank also doesn't give a loan for this. There are no medical claims. So since it's very expensive, so how do we go about with this? Any aids?
Ma'am, I think I already answered that question. They should go to government hospitals. So government hospitals have these facilities. They can get, and uska double benefit here that you can use these for government policies, government benefits. So government is also providing. There is one organization called National Trust, which is under government and autonomous body. So they have different insurance scheme for the children with disabilities. So they can take the advantage of these kinds of Nirmaya unme se ek hai. There are different kinds of insurance scheme which they are providing. So government जो दे रही है कम से कम उतना तो हम कर ले, उसको तो हम utilize कर ही सकते हैं. There are many pension schemes for the children with special needs. So you can take that.
For that, first you have to make your disability card. After that, only you can avail those facilities. So first step would be to get the documentation complete. And after that, there's lots of schemes are there which you can avail.
So
Yeah.
I think
Okay. I think there are a lot of questions, but I think we are running short of time. Shiny, we should
Let's conclude the things. And before we sign out, it is not every kid special, then should every special kid be more special? Do all kids learn in the same way, in the same day? No, not at all. Then, if special kids take more time to learn, shouldn't we appreciate and facilitate? And when we judge a special kid with a special need, it does not define who they are, but basically it defines us, who we are. Children with special needs are not sent to special schools or special friends or special parents. We make the school special. We make the children special. Actually, हमने देखा ही होगा हम last to last year few maybe 2-3 years back एक तारे ज़मीन पर मूवी आई थी, बहुत ब्लॉकबस्टर हिट हुई थी, but उसको हिट करा दिया. What about now? Until unless we make the change, it won't happen. So together we have to make the change in the kids' lives, not by watching the movie or any movie. So we have to make it difference. So I shall leave you all with this thought and would like to thank you, our panelists, Ms. Pratima, Ms. Monica, and Ms. Seema, for giving us their valuable time. And special thanks to our viewers also. Before I say goodbye, Jayanti would want to say something about our next talk show. That's
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Thank you, viewers, for participating in our talk shows. And the next Saturday, we're going to come up with another very, very interesting and very, very important topic, teens and teenager anxiety. In a real important topic to discuss. So catch us next Saturday, 5 o'clock. Till then, this is Jayanti Ramnath and this is Deva signing off for the
Bye.
Have a